When the Navy Admiral walked out of the restaurant with red eyes and a forced smile, none of them knew the truth, but the janitor mopping the floor near the exit did. And within months, that same janitor would be the one to change her life forever. If you're watching this, stay with me till the end, because what happens in this story will shock you, break you, and then heal you. And if it touches your heart even a little, make sure you like this video and subscribe so more people can find stories like this. Admiral Rebecca Hale wasn't someone who showed weakness. Her uniform alone carried more weight than most men could handle. Her presence in the Navy was legendary, sharp, disciplined, fiercely respected. But that night, after a blind date arranged by a colleague, she walked out of the restaurant like a defeated soldier returning from a war she didn't deserve to fight. Her date had been polite at first, overly impressed by her rank, until he wasn't. Until he leaned back with a shrug and said the words that punched her harder than any battlefield injury ever could. "So you're Barren. That means no kids at all, right?" "Sorry, Admiral. I want a family. And I'm not signing up for a life where my wife can't give me one." He stood and left before she could even respond. She just sat there, staring at the untouched glass of water, wondering how someone could reduce her entire life, her service, her sacrifices, her identity, into one single missing piece of biology. Nearby, mopping the hallway floor outside the upscale restaurant, was Adam Carter, the janitor everyone at the base knew but rarely spoke to. He had tired eyes, a kind smile, and 4 kids who adored him more than life itself. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier, and he had picked up every job he could find to keep his family afloat, including night janitorial shifts at the Navy Club. As Admiral Rebecca stepped out, pretending she wasn't breaking, Adam looked up just long enough for their eyes to meet. That 1 second, quiet, awkward, accidental, was the beginning of everything. Rebecca didn't cry. Not yet. She walked past him with the same stiff composure she walked past officers on deck. But Adam had seen that expression before, on his own daughters' faces when they were hiding pain because they didn't want to be a burden. When she reached her car and fumbled with her keys, he finally called out softly, "Ma'am, I hope your night gets better." She didn't know why that made her stop. Nobody talked to a Navy admiral like that, with gentle honesty instead of formal respect. She looked back, surprised. "You know," he continued, "some people don't see what they have. Only what they want." Rebecca blinked, stunned at how precisely a stranger could summarize what she felt. But she simply nodded, got into her car, and drove away. Yet fate wasn't finished. The next week, during a base emergency drill, Rebecca found herself in the cafeteria when a commotion erupted. A small girl had tripped and cut her knee, crying loudly. Officers tried to help, but she pushed them away. Then Adam rushed in. "Lily, hey, Daddy's here." The child went silent instantly. Rebecca stood frozen. She had never seen such softness from a man struggling with so much. Adam cleaned the wound, kissed her forehead, and calmed her with a patience that could have tamed storms. "Sorry, Admiral," he said, noticing her watching awkwardly. "My Lily, she's tough until she's hurt. How many kids do you have?" Rebecca asked before she could stop herself. 4, he said, smiling proudly despite his exhaustion. 4 reasons to fight every day. Something warmed inside her chest, something she hadn't felt in years. Not romance, not pity, just admiration. Over the next month, they crossed paths repeatedly. A late-night hallway, a broken vending machine, a spilled cup of coffee he insisted on cleaning even though it was hers. Each moment was small, accidental, but these accidental moments became threads, and eventually, threads become a bond. Rebecca found herself laughing at small jokes he made. Adam found himself standing straighter when she walked by, not because she was an admiral, but because he respected her as a person long before he admired her as a woman. But the real turning point came one rainy evening. Adam was leaving early because he had to make it to his daughter's school play, but his car wouldn't start. He panicked, pacing and checking the time. The look on his face, the desperation, the guilt, the fear of disappointing his children, felt like a dagger. Rebecca stepped out of her office, umbrella in hand. "Get in," she said simply. "I'll drive you," he protested. She insisted. The ride was quiet until halfway through, when Adam finally admitted, "I just don't want them to think I'm failing. They've lost so much already." Rebecca spoke softer than she ever had. "You're not failing. You're doing more than most parents ever would. When they arrived, the kids were waiting outside nervously. The moment they saw him, they ran to the car shouting, "Daddy!" Rebecca watched, stunned, as one of the girls, maybe 8 years old, tapped the car window. Rebecca lowered it, confused. "Thank you for bringing my daddy." Those words cracked something open inside her. She had always believed motherhood wasn't in her destiny. She had made peace with it. But watching Adam's kids, seeing their love, their raw innocence, she realized she hadn't made peace at all. She had just buried the wound. Over time, the kids grew attached to her, and she, quietly, reluctantly, grew attached to them. She helped with homework sometimes. She attended one baseball game. She even learned how to braid hair because the youngest asked her to. Then, one afternoon, after months of unspoken connection, Adam finally said the words she never expected. "Rebecca, you don't have to give birth to be a mother. You just have to love. And you already do." She froze. "Why would you say that?" "Because you're family to them," he whispered. "And to me." Tears slipped down her face, tears she had held back her entire life. "Adam, I can't give you children. You already gave us something more important," he said. "You gave us hope again." She couldn't speak. She just stepped into his arms, and for the first time in decades, she let someone hold her without any armor between them. Months later, standing outside a courthouse after signing guardianship papers together, Rebecca looked at the 4 kids, her 4 kids now, and realized something profound. She was never barren. Her life wasn't empty. She just hadn't met the family she was meant to have. And when Adam took her hand that day, kissing it gently, he whispered, "Told you some people don't see what they have." She smiled through tears, because now she finally did. If this story touched your heart, even a little, like the video, subscribe, and let this message spread. Family isn't made by blood alone. Sometimes, love chooses you in the most unexpected way.